Hello everyone, GoldenNova here, and today we are doing a interview with one of the members of the community that I am most fond of, presenting the Master of Magikey, the one who will use the keys to open the doors to all possibilities. It's RedMage. Please tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I'm RedMage. I've been playing Magikey for years now, and I'm on Danny's channel every Friday. I submit a replay on Danny's channel. I've been in a few of Danny's YouTube video, even made a thumbnail every now and then. Very well known for being just unhinged with the lines that I go through, and also bringing the very funny normal monsters every now and then.
Yeah, you are basically one of the most unhinged deck builders I've ever seen out there, and I respect that.
Well, thank you.
So I've got a few interview questions here. What I'm looking to do is I'm going to pick RedMage's brain a bit. We're going to learn a bit more about the Magikey building process. And then he's brought a few decks that he's going to show us. We're going to learn some of the stuff that he's brewing. And then I'm going to challenge him to build a Magikey deck live in front of all of you using a deck that he has not done yet. We will see the Maestro work in real time. I'm excited.
His magic, so to speak.
Already cracking joke. I haven't even asked the first question yet. How dare you? You know, the host's supposed to be the funny one, right? That's how this stuff goes?
Yeah. I'll let you ask the questions.
Thank you. So, Magikey in the giant history of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is relatively recent. It hasn't been here always, but ever since you've gotten it, it has felt like that's been your whole shebang, your whole 9 yards. What got you into Magikey, and what is it about the deck that really connects with you?
So, funny thing, I had stopped Yu-Gi-Oh! For like a while back. I was playing in college, but the only people I could really feasibly get to duel against were just kind of unfun to play against, because they would play stuff like Altergeist, stuff like, just stun pure, just not letting me play the game. While I wanted to follow in the Dual Logs footsteps. I was a big fan of the Dual Logs series, Fade and the other ones, where he would just like take a gimmick, like an old gimmick deck, and just kind of make it possible. He still does that, by the way. He still does that on his channel every now and then. On his streams, he does that. It's really fun. And I wanted to build for that, but as I said, my friends were just playing stun, and it was just not fun. So I stopped for a while, and then I kept up to date, and I saw the announcements of Magikey and the new deck. They always reveal it a while before it releases. So I saw that, and I was like, oh, wait, that's kind of cool. There's a lot of normal monsters. That's a lot of potential. And it's really only when I got my hands on it in Master Duel, I decided to pick back up Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I could play with randoms in a matchmaking system instead of always fighting Altergeist.
Yeah, now you get to avoid all the some of the stun players.
Yeah, you just get to scoop and go next if there's a stun player, right?
Exactly.
So when I got my hands on it, and with the awesome searching capabilities of Master Duel, being able to visualize just the sheer amount of normal monsters and cards I could play with, that's where it really clicked with me. Like, wow, there's a lot to do here just with the deck, just with the core of the deck. And then I built up from there, picking up little tricks from other sub replays, from other lines. Sometimes I see a Twitter combo line and I'm like, wait, I can get to that with Magikey, and I just do it,
Ah, that seems very powerful, and now I will incorporate into my own chimeric mass of cards.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So you were in a situation where you couldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because the people around you didn't really want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! You found Magikey via Master Duel, and you were able to just, like, unlock the potential of these cards, and that was a really fun experience, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that does hint to a history before you had to quit Yu-Gi-Oh because of all the stun nonsense. Were there any decks
Yeah.
that you liked playing or were really attached to before you encountered Magikey?
Back then I was, let's be honest, I was kind of new to it and I was a dirty net decker. So Dual Logs had this very awesome Google Docs with like all of his fail deck. Just all of his decks that he had built and showcased on his YouTube videos. And I just kind of downloaded all of them and put them, and then I would just like, play around with them and be like, oh, I want to try this one against you. And then they normal summon Altergeist, what's her face, and just set a couple traps, and I'm just like, oh, I see.
Wait. So your idea of fun was to take all of the Dual Logs' War Crimes decks and then bring those to other people.
Yeah, but I mean, they weren't really war crimes per se, right? A lot of the decks were trying to do something, but like it was like stuff like a Fire Princess Burn, there was some that was not war crimes and was just like trying to make a competent thing going, but I couldn't even get it started because I was just like, oh, either they went either stun or OTK, so it was just like But I didn't know much about Yu-Gi-Oh at the time, so to be fair, and I wasn't doing the deck building, so I wasn't like, I don't have like, I shouldn't be roasting them for playing the game how they wanted it to be, because at least they were building the decks. I wasn't.
Hey, honestly, in this channel, in this space, it's a net decking safe zone. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. So it sounds like you grabbed the whole charcuterie board of decks and we're just kind of dabbling with whatever seemed interesting. That's pretty cool. It honestly makes a lot of sense because the way that I always see you experimenting with Magikey shows this proclivity for like wanting to try out all the different flavors of the game via the lens of Magikey. So that all I'm starting to paint the picture of your dueling journey.
Yeah, I've grown a lot since then, for sure.
So you've done a lot of things with Magikey. You've splashed a million different strategies. But are there any that stand out? Is there a favorite thing that you've done with Magikey over your tenure?
Oh boy, a favorite. That's a good question. A favorite. I really enjoy a lot when the spring and stuff with Sargas and Tally-Ho. I absolutely love everything about that, from the fact that it's extremely generic to the amount of bodies it gives me on the field, and just from 2 level 4s, which is insane. And I love every single time I make a new deck, I have a new use for Sargas's other effect, which barely ever comes up otherwise, where if you detach a material from an Xyz monster, he gets to either bounce or destroy a card. That has blown my mind how useful that can be. I love it to bits.
That makes sense. It's kind of like having an Xyz version of Dulorin to like reset some stuff.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, that seems pretty goofy. And honestly, as the lore guy, I'm love seeing Springens doing their work. They never got a good chance in the spotlight, and here they are doing combos.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously your brand is about Magikey stuff. We're here to talk about Magikey. But the last thing I want to do is like pigeonhole you, behind everything.
Oh, of course.
Is there anything outside of like Yu-Gi-Oh that you dabble in, any other hobbies that you enjoy?
Outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm a big roguelike fan. I like to play roguelikes. On Fridays, usually that's what I tend to do. I try to play a different game, and it's usually a roguelike. Because I really like the variety, and again, building a run that's like super killer is always super amazing, and it kind of goes back to Magikey anyway. It's just part of how I game, man. It's just like that.
You seem like someone who really enjoys like variety and finding a lot of like
Yeah,
optimizations within that randomness. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
I don't play a lot of them. I don't have a broad range of them, but I do enjoy them. I've been putting Hades 2 on every once in a while when I need the fix. Have you played either of the Hades games?
I have not actually. I should get to that. I might buy Hades 2 at some point for sure. Action roguelikes are like second only to my favorites being turn-based, especially card roguelikes. I have a lot of that, but I do enjoy some action roguelikes every now and then. Recently, I've started playing We Who Are About to Die, which is a very interesting gladiator-themed roguelike. It's kind of roguelike-ish. It is roguelike in that it's random, but it's more like a career gladiator combat with a lot of very interesting combat mechanics. You should check it out if you have time. It's fun. It's fun time.
I just pulled up the page for it because when you name something "We Who Are About to Die," that demands attention, and
Yeah,
it looks pretty nifty.
yeah, it's really neat. Every like the way you attack, basically, you can attack in different
Oh,
directions with the weapons, and you have to aim with your attacks because the enemies are going to have shields or they're going to try to attack as well. You can block attacks with your weapons as well, like in a parry kind of style. And you don't actually have to use the command to block. Like you can right click to get in a guarding stance, but you don't actually have to do that to block an attack. As long as your weapon is in the way when the opponent tries to attack, if it blocks its path, then you blocked the attack, and that's
so
really cool.
so it tracks the weapons themselves. It doesn't check to
Yeah,
see if you've done like a block stance, but the block stance like
exactly.
puts it in a more favorable position. Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool. I love when games like sneak past the usual like action way of doing things.
Oh yeah.
Get that really big immersion factor on there. I dig. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Now, speaking of dabbling in other things,
Hmm.
are there any other decks that you dabble in outside of Magikey? Is there anything else that catches your eye every once in a while that you work on?
Yeah, for after a certain week where I've cooked like for 3 people at the same time and they all got accepted in Sub Replay Friday, Danny told us, okay, no more Magikey for a couple of weeks. So, so I had to improvise. And I thought to myself, okay, what's a deck I could try? And I had most of the Sky Striker stuff, which I've wanted to make Magikey Sky Striker for a while, but we didn't have the support that could allow that yet.
Okay.
Uh, so I said, okay, well, you know what? I'm gonna bite the bullet. I'm gonna craft the rest of the Sky Striker stuff, and I'm gonna play Sky Striker. And of course, I can't be content with just playing Sky Striker when I'm a Magikey guy. So I applied some principles that I've learned from playing Magikey to building a Sky Striker deck of my own, and ended up making it a really weird cross between Sky Striker and Mikanko, using the other Sky Striker cards as well, the ones that nobody plays, like the Sage of Wisdom and all that. And it was fun. I mean, I made a couple fun replays out of it.
You're a legend. You're just a legend. I don't know what to say. That's outrageous. Okay, so Magikey hasn't gotten an update in a long time, which is a
Hmm.
shame. This really felt like we're gonna go somewhere story-wise with all of this. Um,
Yeah.
if and when Magikey makes its resurgence back into the card pool, what kind of legacy support would you like to see the theme get?
Oh, that's a rough question to ask me. Uh, I I think what I would want if I were to ask Santa Konami for a special gift for Magikey, all I would want is an extender that can change its level. It, well, it could be locked to Magikey. I don't mind Magikey locks at all. I will still find a way to turn it into a not locked magic monster, so I'm fine with it being locked. But level modulation on top of being able to get any monster from normal monsters would be amazing. I would probably spend a whole week not sleeping, just chugging decks back to back with that for sure.
Now, would that be a way to get to the rank 8 easier? Or is there some other devious idea that's percolating in there?
Well, that's the thing with my idea, right? You can use it to go for the rank 8 for sure, and I imagine if Konami makes it, that's what they want you to do with it. But
however,
having the ability to just change your level like that, even if it's just from 4 to 8, is really really good. Or there's a lot of rank 8s that could really use some extra love. Some that are like just on the cusp of being usable, but usually the problem with a lot of cards that are seemingly usable but then they don't get used is that you don't have anything to use it with. So being able to just access that pool so we can bring out the potential of that as well, not just stick to the spring-ins to do it, is amazing.
All right, well, here's hoping that Santa Konami brings that along. Chat's actually asking a really important question that I can't believe I don't have here on my list, so I'm going to throw this in really quickly. Do you have a favorite normal monster, and if so, which one?
A favorite normal monster? I'm that's a good question. I think I really like monsters like, I really like Mech Knight Avram actually. Mech Knight Avram is probably, it's my favorite. It's archetypal because you can actually go through the Mech Knight thing with it. You go through the Mech Knight line because it's a Mech Knight monster. It is a psychic, which is fun because that's a rare. It's a rare type to represent in normal monsters. There's not a lot of psychic type. Like, there's the Malfoes and there's like Avram and not a lot more than that. He's level 4, which is very versatile on its own, and he's a light, which fits very well with stuff like making curious, stuff like there's a lot of light support as well, so it's really good for that. And his flavor text is, it's peak.
I'll have to check it out. Okay, that's about all that I've got on my end. If anyone has any questions in chat, feel free to ask them, and I'll see if I can pick them up. And if we have time later, we can circle back and see if we can learn some extra knowledge that we haven't picked up yet. For now, I promised RedMage a platform to show off some of their wackier creations, and now I think that is the perfect time.
Oh boy, I have a lot.
I've got the screen share pulled up correctly. We can see what's going on. This does look like a heinous collection of cards. I can't wait to see how it works.
Yeah. So the fun part about Val Monica Magikey is that we could just go with just the Val Monica part if we get Celetrice and the Val Monica. But what we're looking for here is to start with the Magikey stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set Magikey World, and I like to use Reload for that matter, because that lets me... There we go. Does that do it? I think no, it doesn't. I'm used to it. You know what? Actually, instead of doing that like that, I'm going to do it like I do usually, which is hand test settings, no opponent, don't shuffle, and 3 cards in hand, which should be the first 3 cards. So we can actually have the right amount of cards to get started. There we go.
Okay.
Hold on, my I have to set up something here real quick. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I use Diviner as one of my starters. Either works, but I usually build my decks so that either works, because that gives me more starters to use. In this case, we're using the 2 Malfo Stealing to summon Biddle's Buster. Do we have sound? Do you have sound here, or do I have to?
I should have sound.
Because I know it's sounding on my speakers, which is why I had to set that up. Okay, so activate Magikey World. If you're familiar with Danny's video and how I play, you would know this is usually how I start my combos, which is just Manju or Diviner into Beidou's Buster, get Magikey World, get the Maftia, and then get the extra normal summon for Maftia. And from here, this is where the magic starts. So first, while we have a normal monster, we want to turn off the lock on Maftil. So Maftil says you can't use it for anything that's not a Magikey, but we can just turn it into Enchelabolus for basically free, because Enchelabolus adds back the Maftia anyway.
Okay.
So now we're free. Now we're doing Draco Slayer here.
This is level 6.
Yeah. Because this is why we used Metal Foe Stealing to make a Beidou's Buster. We used 2 Metal Foe Stealing so we could get the level 6 and level 2 to make level 8. Because we need to make a rank 4 with it. So this is part of the big strength of Magikey, is that because you can use any normal monsters, you have access to every level from between 1 and 4 to start with, and you can send anything from the deck afterwards anyway, which is just incredible. Amazing. Also, since we recycled the Maftia, we can discard it for the effect of Majesty Pegasus, which means that's done. Now we have the Val Monica field spell. Now we need to get, of course, the Pendulum monster, which is how you want to get started with this. So I make Magician of Hope, which is a generic. Wait, what were you gonna say?
Magician of Hope!
Yeah, Magician of Hope actually comes in very clutch here. Really useful in this specific combo that nobody but me plays. So we make Electromite with this, and now we can get to search Angelo and destroy Magikey World, and get Angelo to the hand. Now with that, we can activate the field spell to get ourselves Celetrice. And then we can do the thing where we activate this in Demono by discarding her, place the 2 scales, and that triggers Celetrice. So we get to add her back to hand, and then we get to Pendulum Summon. So we get to Pendulum Summon these 2. I'll put Celetrice here, and we'll put Magician of Hope here. We get to activate both of these. That's going to be relevant very soon. Celetrice here gets us Shelter. Where is it? There it is. Shelter.
Okay.
So then from there, we can activate Shelter to add a Val Monica spell trap, and we can add Invitare. Then we can activate Invitare to add a 1 Val Monica to hand and 1 to the extra deck. It doesn't matter what we add, because now we can use a Magician of Hope to special summon that Val Monica. It's negated, but we just need it to go into Exceed the Pendulum. And you know, we don't need this guy anymore, so we're gonna just Exceed the Pendulum here and activate her effect to add the Angelo and then we can use the effect of this to special summon the Angelo, activate this effect, and then draw 2. Wait, what did it not? Oh, because I'm an idiot. No, I messed up the line. Ah,
No!
It's fine. I messed up the line. Anyway, this should end on IP. I use Karen Gorgon. Where is it? This guy.
Karen Gorgon!
IP and a Zebrafera. Because Karen Gorgon can change the targeting of anything that targets. And Exceed the Pendulum can actually special summon back from the graveyard the Dragon Pulse that we used, so it can be targeted instead of anything that could be threatening to our Zebuferas, as some sort of soft negation of sorts.
Okay, okay.
So that's the idea. As you can see, and that's just from Beetle's Buster ARA and a normal summon. This is always how it works.
And you're able to bridge the gap into Val Monica because the Draco Slayer Majesty Pegasus lady gets you the Val Monica field spell.
Yeah, and because I have access to a generic rank for Xyz in Magician of Hope, which lets me extend further into more Exceed the Pendulum. Yeah, Exceed the Pendulum into getting the thing. Normally, what I should have done is use the negated Demono to make Exceed the Pendulum, and then special summon Demono so I could copy Shelta and get the Versare, which is the third, the three counters on Demono's Pendulum scale at that point, and gets the trap in the grave.
Okay.
So that's how you do that. Now, I have this Tina Key, but that's not what I want.
Do not doubt RedMage's power. They will find a way.
We will find a way. Where is it? There it is. So next I want to show Infernoble, because... Hold on, let me take a sip of water. Because Infernoble, let's see, the hand test setting are the same. Good. And you know what? Let's change it up a bit and put this instead.
Okay.
And test hand. So I want to show off the Infernoble line, because the Infernoble line uses Snake Eye in a unconventional way, and also doesn't use Isolde at all, which I'm very proud of. Like, just figuring out a way. I've made this line. When Isolde got banned in, I think it was the OCG or TCG. It was recently. I think she's banned everywhere except MD right now.
Yeah, thank goodness.
So I went, okay, well, how do I do Infernoble? Because I used to rely heavily on Isolde and the Ignites to get to the Infernobles. But then I realized, wait a second, the new synchro that they have is generic. So as long as I can get to, a level 1, or to go with my tuner, then I can do it. I can pull her off. But then what else do I do? And hold on, I'm just setting up, but it's taking longer for me to actually do the thing than to actually tell you about it. So I'm trying to weave the story, and it's not really working out. Also, I've messed up. You know what? It's early in the combo. Okay. Let's do it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's restart the story from the beginning. So.
Yeah. Let's not restart from the beginning. I'm gonna go as fast as I can. It's honestly par for the course when it comes to Magikey. It's hard to remember every line because it's so varied. So that's a bit of a problem I have. Every now and then I'll just like try an old deck and then be like, wait, how do I do this again? How did I go about it?
What was I thinking back then?
Yeah.
Now, how often do you find yourself with this 3-card combo while playing real Yu-Gi-Oh?
That depends on the deck. There are decks where I can afford to get an extra little engine in there that lets me, wait, let me not do the same mistake again. Focus. So we're
Yeah,
using
focus.
cross sheep here. Let me just explain that first.
Yes.
Cross sheep is very cool because not only do you get to fusion summon, but also the process by which you do it with Magikey means you can send whatever you want to summon to make the fusion and then immediately bring it back like this. So I can immediately bring back the Dragon Pulse that I just sent from the deck to make Angela Bolas. And that lets me make our good friend Time Star Magician here, which lets us search. Did you know it can search Diabell Star?
It's a dark spell. No, no.
And then we can go Xyz Armor on top. And we can detach 2 because we're getting both of these. That's going to be important because since we're not using Isolde, we need equips. And the Xyz Armor can rank up on top of any rank 4. So we can get that. And specifically the trap needs to be in the graveyard to use its effect that's relevant. So we can use that to make Diabell Star for free. We're going to add the Sinful Spoils. And you know what? While we're at it, because it's gonna bother us all the time, we're just gonna equip it real quick. We're gonna keep this guy on the field for the rest of the combo until it's no longer needed, for sure. But now we have the Sinful Spoils, which we can send Magikey World for because we don't actually need Magikey World anymore. And then we can Snake Eye into Snake Eye Poplar.
Okay,
which Poplar
right.
specials itself. Like this. Now, I don't run any other like Sinful Spoils in this specific brew because I was just like building the deck. Obviously I could add a trap or something to run it, but now we can make Angelica with the level 4 tuner that we still have on the board, and this Poplar, which can bring itself back onto the board anyway as a back row. Like this.
Okay, alright.
Alright,
I'm losing my mind, incredible.
So now we can activate Noble Arms Yugioh, and there's nothing that's locking us yet. The only effect that locks us is the one that specials an equip spell, and we're not using that yet anyway. Now we can get some more bodies on the field. Yes, we get some more. Now you know what? Let's activate this immediately. Get that out of the way, and then trigger this. I'm just using Caliburn because it's the one that does something while it's equipped. And we send Turpin, and then special summon a Roland, like this. Roland. And then we get to activate Turpin because we control a monster that's equipped with an equip spell. So we get to special summon him and make our man of the hour, Charles. And then we can equip him like this. And then we can use the effect to pop something. If we have a scale to pop, we can do it. I probably shouldn't have done that, but I'll pop the Poplar because we don't really need to use the Poplar per se.
Okay.
And we need to make room anyway because this guy equips a lot of cards. Then we get to Charles. But now before we use the effect that locks us, we don't need this guy to be equipped with an equip spell now. So we can get Snake Eye Oak.
Oh my god.
This. And then Snake Eye Oak, special summon Snake Eye Ash. Like that. And then, would you look at that? We can make IP. Yeah, we can make Yeah, I think we're gonna just go for a 4 material Apo. I think we can go for that. Yeah, we can go for that. 4 material Apo. I think we'll keep it simple. This and that one. Sure, why not? And then we can activate this to special summon our Charles. And then we can equip it with the other Armored Xyz spell.
Wait, no. Wait.
To get a second Charles.
To get a
which is
second.
not
Come
once per turn.
on.
There we go. And now at the end phase, we also get to, you know what, let's share the love a bit. We also get to equip the Caliburn back and also give it Oliver, which means he can't be targeted. And she comes back as well. So yeah, that's 4 monster negates, 2 spell negates because they're soft once per turn. And a quick effect equipped from Grave, which lets me pop once. That's a shared once per turn, I believe. Yeah, that's a hard once per turn on the pop, but it's still a thing.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty solid from again the same hand of Monju, ARA, Betos Buster.
And notably, this is a Master Duel combo. This is something that's off limits.
This is a Master Duel combo, and this is not using Isolde at all.
Yeah, so eat your heart out, Infernoble Knights. All it took was a little guy with a key gun to fix all your problems.
Yeah. Okay, so that's one.
That's pretty wild. Uh-huh.
That's pretty wild. So yeah, here's what you asked earlier about how often I can get that. So since this line doesn't use that much of the extra deck, all things considered, I know I squeeze every bit of value out of every monster in there. So the super heavy samurai engine here means I have 6 copies of a quick Xyz that can get me either Gear Gigant or the Part 2, depending on if I need something else. So even if I open just Manju and Super Heavy Samurai Wakaushi, because Betos Buster is a level 4 machine, I can just search it with Gear Gigant. So as long as I have a Wakaushi, I can, half of the combo is not necessary. And then I also have the possibility that I have one of my normal monsters in the hand, in which case I can just High Ritual Art it. So if I have, say, Wakaushi and a High Ritual Art, then I just Wakaushi and then get the Vipatu to search for the Dragon Pulse, which I can use with High Ritual Art. And once again, do that. And because this line uses Cross Sheep, it doesn't matter if the monster that I have as the other outside of Betos Buster, Maftiel, and the normal monster, it doesn't matter what level or if it's a rank monster because I'm just linking it off for Cross Sheep anyway.
Yeah, I want to see one more. I want to see one more of these fantastic creations.
Okay, let me show you something that's a little bit simpler and that uses the let's go for something simpler that uses Ghoti here. It's a little bit simpler.
Something a bit whiter.
It's whiter. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we're gonna use this guy again, but again, it's not gonna matter in this case because we're using the Cross Sheep. But we're going to use a friend that has been errataed and brought back semi-recently. It's been a while. But I've been using it a lot because there's a lot of very funny stuff you can do with AFD, especially with the Springans, because Sargas can bounce back something. And did you know there are some field spells that are soft once per turn?
I've heard of a few.
Like Trickstar Light Stage.
You know, it might have been limited for a reason, actually.
Yeah. Turns out it's very good to bounce it. But this is not what we're gonna do here, of course. it's gonna look similar. Again, there's a lot of similarities between the starts of the combos. I wish you could just like start at the part where it's like that and just like go from there, but
just go from there.
Unfortunately that's not the case. So we're doing Crush Sheep again.
All right.
But this time we can plan ahead, as I mentioned earlier. Because the monster we send from the deck can be whatever we want and can be brought back by Cross Sheep afterwards, this essentially means Cross Sheep reads as a special summon any level 4 or lower monster, normal monster from deck if you fusion summon in something that it points to. So we get to summon this, which is a tuner, a level 1 tuner to be precise, because there's a level 1 tuner in normal monsters. So first we're going to go for Arion Pass, a staple in Ghoti. That lets us banish a fish from the deck, so we can banish spaces. But then we're immediately synchroing it off for Ancient Fairy Dragon. You have a field spell, and Ghoti has a field spell. Did you know?
I've seen it once or twice.
So we're adding here P6.
Okay.
And then we're going to activate Ancient Fairy Dragon, and then get the most distant, deepest depths, which lets us search a Ghoti by banishing a fish from our hand or the graveyard. We're gonna banish P6 to add to the hand Keef, and then P6 effect is going to trigger, which is going to let us banish Keef to special summon itself, and then his effect lets us search a Ghoti, so we're going to add Shift here and then banish a fish from the hand or field, which we're going to banish. So we have all 3 fishies in the grave, in the banish zone. Now, with this, we can also make Espilal Knight. Oh no, actually we'll make IP Masquerena.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I think we can make IP Masquerena. Wait, I'll do this. IP Masquerena. There we go. And there we go. And now we can just end phase and then at the standby phase we get to special summon all of these.
Every fish.
There we go. The spaces. There's this one. And now, let's see, what does this do? Again, Keef is very fun because you get, if a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, you get to swap it out for the Arion Pass, which lets us do the rest of the fish climbing. At any point, we can also just go into Espilal Knight, which also is a banish and also synergizes with the fishes that like to be banished. All in all, pretty solid. Also, P6 when banished gets to special itself, so we have bodies for days. A very self-sufficient engine, and we love fish here. Can we get some Joel in chat?
Folks, can we get some fish? Can we spin some fish here real quick? We need the rotation. Alrighty, well, one second. We got another question from chat a while ago.
Oh, really?
So I saw that we're both in the domain Yu-Gi-Oh Discord. Is that correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so you're kind of familiar with how the alt format works?
Yes, I have actually built a domain. Oh my god, where is it? Domain. Oh, what did I name it? Magikey domain. There we go. So I've built a domain deck. I haven't played yet because I've been very busy these past few days, these past weeks. But I'm using a Hashima, a Star 2 as my deck master because it's a light fairy, which lets me play a bunch of things, including Fiendsmiths. We get fairies in the form of Soitsu. We get light. We get I like a bunch of cards here that are jank that I really love to play on the side. Other than
let's go.
Yeah, what's the one that I really like? Card of Fate. I absolutely. Do you know Card of Fate?
Each player chooses one card from their deck, then each player combines it with 4 additional random cards from their deck by their opponent. They randomly select one of those cards to reveal and add it to their hand. Shuffle the rest back into the deck. You can only activate one card of Fate per turn. So everyone gets the Destiny draw chance.
Yeah, everyone gets a chance. They pick a card that they want, and they get 4 random cards, and maybe they get it, you know?
Maybe. You know, it's Heart of the Cards. If you can't get it, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Well, then that answers my question, because we were being asked what the domain leader frame Magikey deck might be. And, you know what? I didn't expect the rank 8 to be the guy, but here we are.
Yeah, the rank 8, are you... Actually, nobody asked this ever, but are you familiar with how I usually would bring the Ashtartu out in a normal Magikey list?
Oh, I'm not at all. What's the game plan for that?
So we can make Andrabime, and we can make Transfer Mine, leave them on the field, and Transfer Mine, instead of searching the counter trap, what we search is Magikey locking. So that way, after we do the pop from Transfer Mine and get the draw out of Andrabime, we can tribute the Transfer Mine and actually special summon him back to make a Startu with it. Or alternatively, we could even get another normal monster on the field to tribute it, and then special summon a level 8 monster that we sent to the graveyard prior by making Andrabime, for example. Because we don't actually need to use the same monsters that we summoned to make the Xyz summoned. So it's pretty flexible in that. It's only using monsters you control, not just the monster you special summon with the effect. So you can kind of flex around with that for sure.
Okay, alright. Okay, so we've seen your domain deck. We've seen 3 of your brews. I think now might be the time for the challenge.
Build one.
How are you feeling?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling good. Okay. I'm getting the core.
Now, I don't feel very good because you clearly have a gigantic roster of them. All of my ideas, you might have already done them by now, but we'll have to see. So
rapid fire them until we get something.
Yeah, I'll just go through my Rolodex of archetypes until we find something fun. But for everyone who knows the GoldenNova lore, there is but only one theme that I could ask for you to bring to the forefront. Is it possible to craft Magikey desk bots?
Magikey desk bots. You know what? That's something I haven't touched yet. So let's look at desk bots first off.
Yes.
Let's look at desk bots. So they're pendulums. Already, that's a good start. What does their spell do? The field spell. You can reveal, discard cards from the hand, shuffle them into the deck, then draw the same number. Okay, that's just a draw. That's not... Okay, so the field spell is not any good for this. How about that synchro? Generic. This card gains attack for each disc spot on the field, and then you can target a disc spot you control, destroy it, special summon the disc spot from the deck. Okay. You can target a disc spot card you control and face-up card on the field, destroy them. Okay, so we have a level 10, which lets us search for special summon any despot monster from the deck. You're familiar, you know, usually I would seek around and look at what combos can get the full board. What's the... I can ask you're a despot gamer, right?
I know a thing or two.
Okay, so what would you say would be the most linear line to getting the whole despot package on the board?
If we're looking for plain, the quickest way that there is out there is using, I think it's Urgent Schedule, the big train card. You can summon out the level 1 Despot who's a tuner, and then you can summon the level 9 out, and then that gets you plane.
Okay.
When it comes to building the entire board, there isn't really a combo that assembles that. It's more of like a long-term assemble your monsters and then punch a bunch. Despot 3 is pretty good because 3 gets summons out number 2, and then number 2 gets you a search. So if you have one half of a pendulum scale in hand, you can get the other half, and then if your hand is full of Despots, you can just scale up and then dump a bunch of them onto the board, and then get ready to retaliate on a future turn. But outside of that, there's not really a strong setup combo.
I see. Okay, so if this card is special summon, you can add a Despot card from deck to hand. Anything that's... So we can search Despot 02 with something like... we can search it with Gilgigant, for sure. And special summon it with AFD. That is an option. But then what would we add from this? Any one card skills here? These seems to be just monster effects that do something. This card gains attack for every Despot in the graveyard. I see. And the 09 here is just gaining attack.
It's like a Sirocco for the whole thing.
Okay. I see. Okay. So that's pretty rough. They don't have really a line to go through to assemble the players. Is this once per turn? This is once per turn. This is...
I think it is.
Wait.
Despot 2 is not once per turn. So you can do machine duplication. You just have to be careful because sometimes you'll boost Despot 2 up to 2,000 with some other random effect, and then it no longer becomes a target for machine dupe.
I see. This card is special summon. You can add a Despot. I'm trying to see here. So we definitely need a way to bounce it back to hand and then special... Well, we have a way to bounce it back to hand, and we have the ability to search any field spell in the game, which might be useful. Let's see, what's a field spell that could be good here? We could... let me think. That's a rough one. They're very specific about needing a lot of them and searching a lot of cards at the same. That might be too difficult. This might be something that I might want to shelve for a time where they have something to actually combos through.
That makes sense. Despots are they're very self-centered theme. The only thing I've ever gotten to combo them with is like Infinitrax, but that's like an incidental Earth Machine.
Yeah, overlap. That's because Earth Machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of the cases where it's like there's not enough here to actually build to actually get the rest of the, like, this is an old archetype where they really expected you to play just Despots and then you just do the Despot thing with just Despots. And that's just hard to do with Magikey because there's not enough ways to search every little Despot here.
Okay, that's valid. That's valid. Okay, what's another theme that we could try with? Have we done anything with branded? I do love me some good lore archetypes.
Oh, we have done things with branded actually just this weekend. Where is it? I think. Oh, did I not? I think I might not have done it here. I might not have done it. I did it on Master Duel. could pull up the tweet where I showed the line. I tweeted about it like 2 days ago. If you wanna, if we wanna pull this up real quick.
I like seeing all of the really powerful cards: Magikey World, Blazing Cartesia, Shiren, Speaker, Blue Eyes.
The fun part is that I want those shuffled back, so I'm going to shuffle the powerful, like the Shiren and the Cartesia. Yeah, these go back in the deck. These go back in the deck.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, send.
So
grab
of course
ARA,
send.
Get a ritual. Use the field spell to get Mafteal. Shuffle back the Cartesia. Play the ARA. Send. What was that? What did I just see?
That's the slime. That's the gruesome goo and the changed slimes. Wait, no, that was it. The changed slime. Yeah, I'm using in this line. I'm using the changed slime and the gruesome goo, and they're aquas, which means you'll see. You'll see. Actually, you'll see. I think you can get why.
I got Batos Buster. Batos Buster gonna search as a card. It's gonna be the Mafteal. Extra normal summon. Get out the gruesome goo.
Gruesome goo.
Activate the Magikey. Send another goo. Get on.
Oh, that's the changed slime, not the gruesome goo.
Oh,
but yeah.
My apologies.
Understandable. They're the same. They look the same.
Okay, we have the Pale Rhino.
Yep.
We have the Merry
acquired the Pale Rhino. Now we're going for branded, for Springins actually.
Okay.
But we're not gonna go the way you think we're gonna go. We're gonna special summon these three, and we're using Kit to get Brandon in high spirits, and we're putting back the Shiren. We have Polar Rhino, we can search her.
Okay.
And then normally we would add Blue Eyes if we didn't have it in hand, because that way we can send with Brandon in high spirits to get Quim, and we can special summon her to send the Cartesia.
They all came back eventually.
We make Verte, which makes an extra deck monster, leaves the extra deck, and then we can Cartesia fuse with the Shiren, and because we have an Aqua set up in Grave, we can special summon the Kit Kalos. And then because we shuffled back, we get to pop a card. Did you catch that?
Yeah, you popped your own Vipartu.
Did you catch what I sent with? Did you catch what I sent with Grand Guignol?
Yeah, Blue Eyes Jet Dragon, you fiend.
Yes. Do you know what Jet Dragon does?
Yeah, because you put the Blue Eyes in graveyard with something. Now it summons itself back because you destroyed something. Now everything else has destruction protection, and then it bounces stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So just a casual normal monster fuckery.
yeah, just easy. You'd see it everywhere. Okay.
So yeah, this is a huge chain reaction, and we're not done yet, because we make Rule Kalos, and then we can make Luluwa Lilith, and then we make Verte. We use Verte to use Branded Fusion to make Mirror Jade as well. Now Luluwa Lilith gets to boost everything. And at the end phase, we have Sent Lubellion, so we get the trap that negates everything, and we get to add back the Cartesia.
Based. Incredible. This is arguably a more lore accurate board than anything I've ever actually made. Good job.
So yeah, again, this is all doable entirely with just the 3 cards of either Betos Buster, Betos Buster, Manju or Diviner, and an extra card that can be shuffled back for Maftia. Okay, but do you have other decks that we can try to make?
Is it possible to do Scareclaw?
Scareclaw, now I know that should be possible. Let's see here. So of course, we're going to be using the field spell. That's for sure. Now, which way do we want to go with this is the big question here. Ideally, we would want to get more from the whole thing than just getting the Scareclaw. So Tryhard is going to be easy to make for sure. Scareclaw Tryhard is like the big boss monster, and it's very generic. So getting a lot of bodies on the field to get the Tryhard is going to be very easy, extremely easy. One downside is that we can't really do some link climbing shenanigans because it needs 3 effect monsters. We can't just do like a link 2 and then the link 2 gives us advantage that we can, help keep some more board presence to do more with it. One thing we can also use is Scareclaw Lightheart though. That would require us to do that first, but we can do it, and it lets us add. It only lets us add the primitive bright phobia, right?
Yeah.
I see. So it's not going to be that useful, actually. It's going to be useful if we draw into the right heart. In theory, in practice, we probably want to start with like just the 3 cards as usual. This is usually how I want to do things. So we can go for Rhyphobia with whatever we decide to use to the search for the field spell. I think we're gonna go for AFD here. I don't see a reason to use the Draco Slayers to get the field spell. We're not really a pendulum archetype, and also we're gonna need that extra monster zone to put the Tryhard in anyway. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, so we're gonna get the Ancient Fairy Dragon, which means we're gonna need to go for level 1s and level 3s for normal monsters. Normal level 1. For the level 1, you have any favorite level 1 normal monsters we could use?
Oh, Smoke Ball's pretty funny.
Yeah, Smoke Ball is very funny. And for level 3, Jerry Beansman is always very based.
Absolutely.
So that's for the normal monsters, which we use to make the Ancient Fairy Dragon. Now we get the field spell. Let me make sure here. This guy, special summon this card adjacent to a Scareclaw monster you control or in its column. Well, we can make the Tryhard. Actually, let's look at the other Scareclaws. Is there something we can search, perhaps? Oh, right. We're still on the... What are the others? We got Psychic and and Beasts. Okay. So we got Earth Beasts. There's nothing we can really search, huh? I think we can just do the Springians. Yeah, this is an Earth Psychic, which we can't really search for sure.
It's also a Kashtira, right? So we could search it out with the Kashtira field spell?
True, we could search it out with it. Wait a second. You have a good point here. If we add the Kashtira field spell, we still would need to banish a card. A Kashtira card afterwards, wouldn't we?
Kashtira or Scareclaw.
Kashtira or Scareclaw. We would still need a... Yeah, we would still need a target, so that's not entirely possible. The Scareclaws themselves can be special summoned on their own. I think this guy searches one up. This card is an extra monster join your target. Oh, it needs to be in the graveyard. Okay, so we need to get a Scareclaw in the graveyard. Which we could probably do. Hold on, there's probably a way we can do this. If we... Now, we're probably gonna need to go for either Curious or... what's her face? What's his face? Beatrice. I think we're gonna go for Curious here, because Beatrice is a little bit too much work for the amount of material we want to do.
Okay.
So we're gonna go for Curious, which means we know what we want to summon with. We know what we want to summon with. So, Targas Tally-Ho. Let's get the Springins and run from here, right? Springins.
Springins!
Yes, Springins. So we're getting this and that, and we're getting the Tally-Ho, and now we're summoning Rocky and Fedor. Because that way we can get everything we need to get the Curious on the board. So the way we're going to do that, it with Exo Sisters.
1 second, you keep walking people through the deck build. I gotta go grab something real quick.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. There's someone in chat who asked, question for RedMage, did I know Manju a better ritual searcher for Magikey in general? In general, Manju would be better because you have plenty of tuners and Codebreaker stuff. That's a good idea. That's a good idea, Bill Cypher. But for the Diviner or Manju question, usually it would be Manju because Diviner changes its level to 6, which is a little bit awkward. And I've had to like kind of curb decks in general to be able to play the Diviner as well. Ideally, like 2 different versions of Manju would be better. Like if Diviner didn't change its level to level 4, if it was a level 4 that stayed level 4, it would be fine. But unfortunately, we have to do with both because we're playing a lot of Garnets, so we need half the deck to be starters. That's just how it's gonna be. Okay, so anyway, where was I? Right. So Caspitel, search for Ellis, and that's a warrior, a spellcaster, and then the AFD is a dragon. And that's 3 lights to make Curious with. So we can send one of these. Let's see.
Okay, I'm back.
Monster. Okay. So these don't have any search on their own. They don't have it. Yeah, they don't have any search effects on their own.
Yeah, it's kind of like the idea is that you summon one of them, link into the link one, and then that gets you a search, and then you kind of recur them later.
I see. So what does each do? This is the multi-attacker. This is the piercing damage, and this one gain attack for every defense position monster you control. Okay, so we would send Acro with Curious for sure. And then that would give us plenty of material to make Tryhard with. Yeah, I think I see the line. I think I see the line. Okay.
Yes.
So you were gone for a moment. So let me run back what we're going to do. So we're going to do the Springins Tally-Ho, and then we're going to make Caspitel, which is a light warrior. Make her search Ellis, which can special summon herself, which is a light spellcaster, and then AFD is a light dragon, so we can make Curious with them. Send Acro, and then make Scareclaw Tryhard because we would still have Sargas, Curious, and the Mirror Maker on the board to make Tryhard with, and we still have the field spell which we have searched. So that means we would get the Tryhard search by summoning back the Acro. We would get to search, let's say, Astra. And then this means that we can special summon this guy, Reinhardt, adjacent to a Scareclaw you control. And then he gets to add a Scareclaw spell trap of our choice. Let's look at what we have for option here. Scareclaw. So Scareclaw, let's see, defanging, what does it do? Prevent destruction. Cannot target, cannot be destroyed by card effect. Okay, that's pretty good. We could search for the bologna, but do we really need to? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean,
think
that
we
card's
can
baloney, so I don't think so.
I think at the very least what we could do is this is once per turn, right? Once per turn, if this card is an extra one. Yeah, okay. So we could just do it the next turn if we link off one of them to... Yeah, we can do that. Okay. Defending sounds like really good protection for Scareclaw, for the try-hard with the two monsters. On top of everything else, I think that's pretty good, but what else do we have here? Alternative is Tribute 3... Floodgate. This is Spell Trap, right? Yes. Okay, so we can add the alternative. Let's see what chat has to say. We would play the Codebreaker stuff. We could also play Firewall Dragon Singularity. Oh yeah, the Codebreaker stuff. I mean, we have room in the extra deck. What's the Codebreaker stuff? Don't you need the extra monster zone to do that?
I think if you want to do the Berserker line that summons you a monster, it needs to be in the EMZ so that your co-links match. But it doesn't necessarily say it has to.
Oh. Special summon a Codebreaker from your hand, deck, or graveyard to any zone a link monster points to. We can do that.
Oh.
We can do that after making Tryhard. We'll have plenty of material. We have plenty of material between the search from Tryhard, the special summon. They have 2 material, then we have the inherent special summon from Rightheart. So we can do that and get some extra value from that. Codebreaker. What about Berserker? From your hand and or graveyard. Ah, okay. And what does 0 Day do? Destroy this card. Okay. Ooh. Ah, man. Oh, we could destroy... no, we wouldn't have enough defense position monsters to destroy it with the field spells effect. Tryhard search locks you to Scareclaws. Ah, good point. Alright, let's keep it simple then. Let's keep it simple then. Scareclaw.
Okay.
Alright, so Scareclaw, so I think defanging is a pretty good option here. Having this big bungus that floodgates the opponent and making it so it can't be targeted or destroyed as well. That sounds like a very mighty time. So let's do that.
Have we had a chance to look at Arrival yet?
Scareclaw Arrival. This one do. Target a Scareclaw monster or Vsauce in your graveyard, special summon it in defense. The Scareclaw link monster you control will be destroyed by battle card effect. You can banish. Okay, it's not a quick play, and we have every Scareclaw at that point on the field, but we could link to. Wait, no, we don't have a link to make. What locks us here? This locks us into, so we can't really do... It could be good for follow-up. I could say, like, that would depend. I like to be one and done with the combo, but it's very possible to play it more tempo, and if you add Arrival, you're ready for next turn. You can't special summon the Link monster if it's getting rid of, if you got rid of it. But it's there. I think defanging would be the best play here. Because that way, if I'm correct, if we do a test hand here real quick, that should be all good. That should work properly and give us a pretty formidable board. Oh, it's looking kind of scuffed on your stream.
Yeah, the centering is different between the deck build and the play zone. And this little cat back here is not helping, folks. Timeout. It's Tempest time. This little baby was behind the monitors trying to chew cables again. Mwah. Mwah.
Silly cats.
I love them, but boy howdy. Alright, here we go. That's a little more centered.
A little more centered. It's a little bit scuffed. But it's looking better. I'm delayed. Okay, so we want the level 3 here because we started with Manju. Which monster you pick for the summon from FTL depends on whether you are playing Manju or Diviner. And then we can send from deck. Good thing I have the Clavicus. That would have been silly with no monsters to send from deck. Okay, now we can do the AFD here.
Beans, 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 beans.
Beans. Alright, we're not using that yet. We're gonna go into the Merrymaker.
Oh, no, that was wrong.
Merrymaker, send, and then make Sargass. Activate the effect, get the Tally-Ho. D-3. That's just special summoning 3 monsters on the field. So if my maths are correct here, yeah, that's all of them. Yeah, that should be working properly. Wait, is this a soft once per turn? You can only activate 1 per turn. Okay, it's a hard once per turn. Exosister Caspitel. And then we get to add Ellis. And then activate the effect. Special summon Ellis. Then we get to make Curious with these 3.
That's so
and then we
funny.
Send Arrow. Any of them would work. And then we get to get the Tri-Heart, like this. Activate the effect, special summon Acro. Search for Astra. Astra is pretty good. Special summon Astra. Activate Triphobia. Add Right Heart. Right Heart, special summon. And then we can use the search for our spell of choice, in this case, Defanging. And we get to draw a card. Wait, we get to draw a card?
You get to draw a card if you have 3 defense. It's so funny.
Nice. Alright, and then we can activate this. And then that's a destruction targeted if we banish something. But more importantly, now we have all that. What else can we do? This needs to be in the extra monster zone to do this thing, right?
Yeah, so we're not going to get the search on if we link it.
Yeah, so it's not going to be that useful compared to that. So that means the field spell reduces the opponent's attack. This is unaffected by the activated effect of defense position monster, and also changes everything to defense. And this protects all of our board from targeting and destruction. And then we have, let's see, 300 attack for every thing, and this can attack up to the number of defense position Scareclaw monsters with different names, which means this is 3 attacks, 3,900 beat stick that can't be stopped, and this entire board is very sticky. Okay, this is a normal Scareclaw M board, as the chat points out.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a Magikey monster on there during later turns, but for now we have our good standard board waiting for our opponent to try and crack it with something.
Yeah, and the fun part is that we have some room in the extra deck, which means, as you can see, we drew into a math deal, which means we could actually just do that, make a transfer mine on the opponent's on the next turn, and just go for extra power. This Sets. Oh, all face-up monsters are changed to defense position. Okay, that might be a little bit of a problem, but we can do link plays with Maftiel. It's not locked. It's not locked to it's not locked when it comes to link monsters.
Okay.
It's just for
right.
synchro and Xyz that you can't use it for anything other than Magikey.
That's so funny.
So yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah. Well, this is pretty cool. Thank you for coming on and showing us a sweet little combo out of nowhere. I think that about wraps up the interview. Is there anything that you wanted to cover really quickly before we wrap up our little conversation?
Well, first off, chat points out, thank you, Puzzled Rand O. It's a light fiend, so, you know, Maftiel is a light fiend, which means when the Fiendsmith comes out, we have a whole lot of stuff to cook. So look forward to that. That reminds me, you pointed out, like at the start of the stream, you said it's been a while since Magikey had any updates. As far as I'm concerned, anything they bring out, they release that's generic is Magikey support, especially if it's some sort of extender that lets me go further beyond. Yeah, Fiendsmith is coming. That's gonna be fun. Also, shout out to the pinned tweet that I have on my Twitter with a lot of tutorials about different Magikey lines. That's really handy if you guys want to look it up. Look it up. There's like images and stuff. I showed the Ghoti one. There's also the pendulum one, which I've made Zark Magikey, but I don't think that's the one that's the one we use in I don't know them by heart, but yeah, I have a bunch of lines there. I plan to put more in there for sure. What else? I think that's pretty much it for me. Thank you for having me, Nova, of course. Shout out to Nova. Great lore videos. I watch them all the time. Every now and then I'll find myself cooking right after a Nova video.
Now that I know the story, I need to make more decks about it.
Well, that, or, you know, sometimes you just explain what a card does, and I'm like, wait a second. That's a insert type that's searchable here.
Hey, and if I can be even a small part of your creative process, then I've done my job. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come by and share all of your immaculate knowledge. This has been very fun to sit and watch the process.
Thank you. Well, thank you again for having me. And have a good one. Have a good rest of the stream. How much longer do you have streaming?
Oh, honestly, I was just going to cut it here. I just wanted to do our little interview. I've got to go do some testing for something that might get announced to the public in a little bit. Wink, wink. So I got to get working on that one. Guess what? It involves more card games.
Oh. I wonder if it's one that starts with an E, perhaps.
Not gonna confirm one way or the other. Though that does bring about the question: have you checked out any of Alestral's? I'm very curious what everyone else's thoughts are on.
I've checked the client currently in beta. It's got hard to actually make. Like, my phone is too small for this. I would really like. I'm looking forward to the PC version when it comes out, because I want to really mess around with that. I like the disenchanting mechanic because it's sort of like normal monsters, and also it has some potential here with how disenchanting works and how upgrading Alestrals from one level to the other can really like change the tide of battle. So yeah, I'm looking forward to actually deck building in a simulator that is more handy than the phone, which my screen is not really made for that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't heard a lot of good things about the current client, but for those of you who haven't heard, Elestrals is kickstarting a proper Master Duel-esque online auto sim. So, by this, in a couple months, it'll be a lot more accessible to play the game, and it'll look a lot nicer too. So, fingers crossed. Hope that goes well. And are there any last-minute questions from chat for RedMage? Anything that we haven't got a chance to talk about? We can definitely stick around for a little bit to take some questions if you're okay with sticking around for a bit.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with sticking around a little bit more that time.
Hell
We plan to finish in like, oh yeah, we have 20 minutes still. The planned time to finish anyway.
Oh yeah, you always want to plan for more time than you think you're actually going to use with stuff like this, because you never know when you're going to go on a big yap fest, a big detour into something else. So you got to be ready with the extra time.
You got to be ready. Oh yeah, shout out to Danny, Luke Von Karma. They released a video just today, just this morning, and I'm in it. One of my brews is in it. That was the Sealmaster Mace Magikey.
What?
Which, yeah, so I can bring out the Sealmaster Mace with Daigusto Emerald, which we haven't shown in this stream, but is a thing that I use every now and then. And then I can make Curious into Griffin to send the trap and then set it on the field. The trap that negates all spells that Mace has, that only activates if you have Mace on the field. And then for good measure, I'm able to put Nightmare Griffin in the middle monster zone where it doesn't point to anything, so your special summon monsters don't get their effects either. Good fun.
Is it fun?
I mean, Sealmaster Mace saw zero play ever. Give him some time in the spotlight, you know?
For all of the Zoomers in chat who might not know, could you pull up Sealmaster Mace really quickly, just to,
all right.
in case they know, the Zoomers and the people who haven't been Danny pilled, which you should be Danny pilled.
You should be subscribed to Danny Pill, to Danny Pill, to Luke Von Karma. You're guaranteed your copper vase is going to land on heads every time if you do that.
If you don't want to be Danny pilled, then you're wrong. You're wrong if you're not Danny pilled.
Yeah. Sealmaster Mace, one of the few people who has a good command of talismans. His history is a mystery. He has 2 spells, a spell and a trap, and the Talisman of Spell Sealing is the one that we want because it negates the effects of all spells on the field, and you cannot, you cannot activate spells and their effects are negated on the field. Only if you control Sealmaster Mace. And also it gets destroyed if he leaves the field.
Yeah, so it's integral that you keep this level 3 Dark Spellcaster normal monster protected so that you can play your Spell Drain card.
Yes. It's funny chat mentions DDD, because the line that I use to make Sealmaster Mace actually uses DD Evil, because it's a Dark Fiend to go with the line, because I use the Pendulum line to special summon a bunch of materials, which means I have to use a Dark Spellcaster, Dark Fiend, and a Dark something else to make the Curious. So it's a very fun line, a fun video. Go watch it. There's like 3 war crimes, and I'm the last one in line. It's a very good video.
Okay, Puzzled Rando asks what your favorite Magikey card art is.
Favorite Magikey card art? Does Simmel Archfiends count?
I mean, I would count it. It's got the monsters on there. The bonus question is, can you explain what's going on Simmel Archfiends? Because I'm trying to figure that out.
Well, from what I see, there's a little bit of everything in here. When it comes to Magikey, I don't know if you're familiar with the lore, the official lore of Magikey. Have you looked at the valuable book stuff that came out about Magikey?
I'm pretty sure I did, but I don't think I have it memorized down pat. So go ahead and run me through it, so that I know I'm on the same page.
So the Xyz are some form of alternate version of Clavicus that basically that uses the demons, while the Synchros are Clavicus lending his body to the demon, and then the rituals are the demon infusing the gun itself. So what we have on Simul Archfiends is and the fusions are beasts that are summoned from that they're summoned beasts from the demons, like the demon forms, beast forms of the demons. So what we have in Simul Archfiend is what looks like the Partu holding a heavily modified Maftia, which looks like a bayonet kind of thing, and having a beast mount in the form of this bird thing, which we don't know who it is, but judging by the name and that combined, it feels like it's just that it's everything at once except like synchros. There's no like synchro thing in there.
Okay, that's good. That was... I literally have a video coming out later today about just Archfiend cards in general, and I had to talk about this thing specifically, and I'm like, there's a fusion, there's a ritual here, but there's no explanation for either of these. Why are they posting art for these Magikey creatures when they should just print them? Make it real!
Yeah, I think one person on Twitter actually brought out a good point in that this could have been a planned Magikey monster that they decided to scrap, and instead of just not using it, they just made a different card using the art because it was designed and everything. It was just they decided to scrap it at the last moment.
Damn.
That's a possibility. Which it's plausible.
Okay, well, thank you for your insight on that. And I think that's all of them. I think that's everyone that had a little something. Okay, yeah, so make sure you go give them that follow. I think I did the shout out, but they're also in the name, so click that. So you can firsthand witness the power of Magikey. Well, take care, RedMage, take care, chat, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Today's episode is brought to you by Dragon Shield. Get the sleeves as strong as dragon scales and get 5% off your order by using the coupon code GoldenNova at checkout. It was also brought to you by my lovely patrons, including this month's illustrious Quasar Commanders, Upstairs Media, and the Wizard Moose, Nebula Navigators, 3rd Dynasty, 50 Gigabits, Ada Basilisk, Adam Zajdel, Owexotoa Hime, Anansi Dragon, Ancient Wizard, Andrew Newman, Kane Senpai, Christopher Fuss, Clockswork, Comrade Copperbottom, Eric, Frankie, Garland Chaos, Great Big Pillock, Hair Bear, Happy Majin, Harry the Ominous Benefactor, Iron Zero, Iskander 711, Carp, Mana Charge, Marion James E. Picata, Megacombe is entering the Chrysalis, Millennia Asta, Mern, Muse Clark, Nathan Vig, Natiel Lee Alexander, Orozco 09096, Panther J, Pat Poos, Rebel King Lucifer, Red Eyes Jackalow, RJ the Jank Monarch, Serenity Towns, The Critic of Innocence and Thievery Coast, Cosmic Crusaders Beden von Titty Sprinkles, Beelzephyr Fish, Beluga Masta, Blitzwolf, Chaz Ghost, Dr. Reaper RIP, Eva Padilla, Hike Boyagian, Herbal D, Ignis Heat the True Draco Slayer, Inblink, Kale the Dragon, Kevon Public, Lobomaru 02, Manga Pages, Matt Simmons, McSpoofy, Michael Shimabukuro, Mike, Nitromo, Nyx, Obsidian, Shizuka Nijimura, Sophie, apparently, Stephen Williamson, Taylor Seymour, The Legendary Raven, The Phantom Knights of Shitted Pants, The Gene, The Pokemon 52, Tiger X2476, Weasel King of Weaseltown and Zaldureka, as well as all the lovely Starlight Explorers you see on screen now. If you'd like to help me in my journey to cover all of Yu-Gi-Oh's archetypes, get my videos early, be a part of these credits, and other awesome perks, it would mean the world to me if you would check out the link to my Patreon in the description or consider joining as a YouTube member.